If they were going after these like supposed rugged criminals, they wouldn't be going to the fucking courthouses. They wouldn't be going to places of business. These are the people they know. These are the people that ICE already has proper documentation on. The people that they track the movements of, because those very same people are collaborating with ICE or collaborating with the federal government, cooperating with the federal government. How do they know there's an undocumented migrant working at a work site? Oh, that's right. Because that undocumented migrant that is awaiting their court date to become a documented citizen, okay, is working there with the proper authorization with a tax ID that goes back to the fucking IRS. ICE is getting that information from the IRS because remember, they lie and say that immigrants are actually lazy or immigrants are actually fucking not working or immigrants are actually stealing our subsidies or stealing our welfare state or whatever. They're not even able to use the amenities of the welfare state while they actually pay into said welfare state through their labor. They pay taxes. And the IRS knows exactly where they're at any given moment. And ICE is getting this information from the IRS. Is there evidence for this? Do you think I'm making this up? Yes, of course there's evidence for this. The Internal Revenue Service finalized a memorandum understanding with Immigration and Customs Enforcement on April 7, 2025 to share sensitive taxpayer information to aid in deportation efforts. This agreement permits ICE to do the following: confirm the names, addresses, and tax data for individuals facing final orders of removal or under federal criminal investigation, including investigations for failing to leave the country after 90 days. So what ends up happening here is that instead of offering them the proper documentation and paperwork to continue working in the country, what the immigration courts in cooperation with the federal government and their needs will decide that that you are no longer eligible to remain in the country, okay, unceremoniously for no cause whatsoever, because it corresponds to the anti-immigrant white nativist agenda that this administration has designed. So they just go, sorry, you're not allowed anymore. You've been here for 10 years. You've been here for 5 years, 6 years, 7 years. You have actually cooperated with ICE the entire time. But sorry, now you're done. This is how it works. So these aren't the rugged criminals. These are the people who perhaps naively think that the federal government is not going to fuck them over because they're tax-paying workers that have the proper authorization to work. This unprecedented agreement represents a drastic shift away from IRS's longstanding commitment to taxpayer privacy. Taxpayer information is strictly confidential, with IRS privacy laws only permitting information sharing with law enforcement authorities in very specific and narrow circumstances to help in certain criminal investigations. Acting IRS Commissioner Melanie Cross, who was appointed by President Trump earlier in 2025, resigned in protest over the signed agreement. Other top IRS officials, including Chief Privacy Officer Kathleen Walters and Chief Privacy Officer Teresa Hunter, also resigned over concerns that the MOU likely violates taxpayer privacy law. The MOU primarily dictates how ICE agents will request the information and handle the data provided to them by the IRS. According to terms of the MOU, this new data sharing allows ICE to make a request for a taxpayer's name, address, and taxable periods for which the return of information pertains, while providing IRS with the federal criminal statute being investigated and an explanation of why disclosure of this information is important to their investigation. After the IRS receives this request from ICE, they will match it with the administrative data, and if they find that the information is relevant to the investigation, the IRS will verify the information such as name and addresses. Parts of the agreement are redacted, preventing the public from fully knowing the agreement's scope. Again, these are taxpayers. They are tax-paying migrant workers awaiting their proper authorization and full clearance for naturalization or at least like a legal permanent residency status. Okay? They are in the country. They have an ongoing court case with immigration authorities. Many of you are fortunate enough to have been born on U.S. soil, myself included. It is a tremendous privilege that we all have. So we don't understand the delicate and complicated nature of this process. A lot of people are automatically considered illegal immigrants or illegal aliens, if you want to fucking call it that, like the administration does, because the administration chooses to now decide they are illegally on U.S. soil. This is precisely the reason why I always say the difference between an undocumented migrant and a documented one is just simply the push of a button. It's just paperwork. It's just proper documentation and proper clearance. A lot of these people that they're talking about, the overwhelming majority of these people that they're talking about, are actually here working, paying taxes, and have the proper clearance. Until the administration decides we are going to send a message that we don't want any fucking black or brown people in this country. Fuck them. Okay. And we're going to shed the population of as many people as we can with whatever kind of ridiculous paperwork that we can throw in their direction. The reason why ICE raids have escalated in the last week is because Stephen Miller gave another directive to Kristi Noem, the Department of Homeland Security, and said, we want 5x the number of deportations. 5x. They have quotas. These people are not being removed in a lawful manner because they are rugged criminals. They are being removed from U.S. soil after living here for fucking decades at times, who are often married to an American citizen, have U.S. citizen children that were born here, that only know America as their home, and they're being removed from U.S. soil and potentially being sent to a slave labor colony because there is a quota that has been enforced by the most rabid, virulent racist, Stephen Miller. That's the only reason. Here, Stephen Miller told ICE agents to target Home Depot, where day laborers typically gather, or 7-Eleven. He bet he and a handful of agents could go on the streets of D.C. and arrest 30 people right away. Who here thinks they can do it? Miller asked, asking for a show of hands. Agents didn't need to develop target lists of immigrants suspected of being in the U.S. illegally, a long-standing practice, Miller said. Instead, he directed them to target Home Depot, where day laborers typically gather for hire, or 7-Eleven. Convenience stores. Miller bet that he and a handful of agents could go out on the streets of Washington, D.C. and arrest 30 people right away. ICE agents appeared to follow Miller's tip and conducted an immigration sweep Friday at the Home Depot in predominantly Latino neighborhood of Westlake in Los Angeles, helping set off a weekend of protests around Los Angeles County, including at the Federal Detention Center in the city's downtown. On Saturday, Trump ordered 2,000 National Guard troops to Southern California despite objections from Governor Gavin Newsom. Those people that they're fucking sweeping, this is what I mean when I say a dragnet, by the way, because here's what they do, okay? Here's the other technique. They know exactly how many migrants, both the migrants that have a removal order on them that they just got out of nowhere because the courts wanted to fucking, the courts are also obviously working in unison with the administration. Immigrant courts are not a third party that is completely removed from the administration. They are working in unison with the executive office. Okay. So they will either remove the, they will either change the court dates without informing the person. And then when they don't show up, then they have a lawful removal order, knowing full well that there are other migrants with actual, like, full-blown documentation that are working at the same work site. They go in and they grab as many fucking brown people as they can. That's literally how it works. Okay? They grab as many brown people as they can when they go into the work site. As many people as they think are illegal. As many people as they think are, looking foreign. That is what a dragnet is. And then once you are detained in that process, they try to, once again, revoke due process or do another thing that's really fucked up. This is why immigrant attorneys always say, never sign paperwork. Okay? They literally will go in. They will even arrest people who are American citizens in the process. They will detain them in the process. Okay? And they will hand out paperwork to every single person that they know is not a full-blown naturalized U.S. citizen. That paperwork is a self-deportation order. So if you sign that paperwork because you don't speak English well, or because they lied to you about what the paperwork contains, which they can do legally, okay? It is not illegal for them to lie to you. That's the other side of this. That's insane. Okay? When you sign that piece of paperwork, it's over. You have signed your own self-deportation order. You signed a piece of paper that says you are going to self-deport. This is why you're not supposed to. This is why immigrant attorneys, if you have undocumented migrants in your family, tell them they should not sign any paperwork that ICE hands them, no matter what. The only piece of paper that you sign is the one that your attorney gives you. And you have still, right now, the legal right to an attorney. You can get one pro bono. When you go to your immigration court hearing, because they're supposed to take you there, you say, no, I'm not, signing any paperwork. When you stand in front of an immigration judge, you have to show why. Obviously, if the only thing you're going to say is your name and whatever, the only thing you ask for is, I want a lawyer. I want a lawyer. And if you don't have money for a lawyer, then the court has to assign you a lawyer for free. Again, one of the best parts about the American criminal justice system. Okay? Not for immigration, love? No, yes, for immigration. What? Yes, for immigration as well. If you're going to sign a piece of paper, no matter what they tell you, the only thing that you should ever sign is a piece of paper that your pro bono lawyer, or the lawyer that the legal counsel that you retain, to hand you that piece of paperwork. That's the only thing you should be fucking signing. Okay? This is how it works in immigration law as well. Even though, no, it's not only in criminal. In immigration law, you can also get a lawyer. You can also demand a lawyer. What are you guys saying? Giving advice to criminals? These people are not criminals, you fucking idiot. I got into an argument with a family member who kept saying over. Okay, whatever. They need to do it the right way. Access to counsel in immigration court. Immigrants in immigration court do not have a right to government-appointed counsel. Lack of legal representation has a profound impact on immigrants' outcomes and removal proceedings. Okay, you can still ask for a lawyer, and you can still qualify for a pro bono lawyer. Okay, you can. You can still qualify for a pro bono lawyer. All right? State doesn't appoint immigration attorney. That's conflict of interest. Only NGOs can help out. Yes, there are plenty of fucking pro bono legal services in the forms of NGOs that actually offer this work. They offer this service. They will provide you a list of pro bono lawyers. Okay? It's so funny that people are saying that it's not